So friends, today we'll talk about the new playlist which is without AQE, okay, and without broadcast. So if we configure our Spark something like that, um, where AQE is disabled and broadcast is also disabled, okay. But if you see my previous sessions where I have ran the same job, okay, with AQE and broadcast as enabled. So this is the YouTube link that you can go, and you can for the same particular code you will going to see what happened when the AQE in broadcast is enabled, okay. And I'll going to share it with you on the same video, or maybe the next video, where I will enable the AQE again and run the same thing again, just to show you the difference, okay. So this means that there will be no optimization as which the Spark will going to do. So now what I'm doing is I am creating the Spark session. I am reading this sample.data.csv, which has nothing but few records of let me see if something like this, countries data, okay. This is the final output, but if you see this data, you will going to understand whatever the it's a sample data only with country and the countries data, okay. And here if you understand, then the next thing what I'm doing is I am partitioning into 4 partitions, and I'm displaying the description, and then I'm filtering out with the data which is less than 40, okay. So and also I'm doing the group by country and the count, okay. So final output will be this. So let's understand how our data looks like, okay, what happened with the data. So as we can see, we have this job 2 to 6, and each job has stages and each stage has tasks, okay. And so first I'll go to the SQL data frame. So I can see that I have job listed from 2 to 6 here, okay. So let me click on this one, and it will give you the overview of the data as what has happened, okay. So first the file has been scanned, then filter applied on the age, okay, which should not be null and should not be 0. There is a stage as well, we will talk about in the next couple of minutes. And then the exchange has happened. So scan, then exchange, then hash aggregate, then exchange, then again hash aggregate, and then the collect is for the show, hash aggregate is for the count, okay, and this one is for the group by, this hash aggregate. And before hashing or broadcast hash any join, the exchange will going to happen. Exchange in the sense that if you're going to create the multiple partitions, okay, with the let's say if I'm doing it with a country, so all the data of the corresponding country will be there in the same file, okay. So they will be shuffling. So this exchange is nothing but the shuffling, okay. So let's took deep inside this. What I did is I just copied entire thing in my notepad, if you are able to see, okay. This is my notepad. I have copied entire thing, and I am writing, okay, based on the UI. I have written what happened with the data individually, okay. What happened with the data individually. So so for scanning, what are the stages that has been involved, okay, what are the how many partition it has created, how many write, what is the file size, okay. After file size, what was the actual write that happened on that particular stage, okay. So second stage has multiple tasks, right. So first task is scan, first other task is code gen, other task is the exchange, okay. But partition was only one at this particular stage, okay. No other partition has been created. So something like this I have created. So let's start from here to here. So you know the overview, right. So we have the scanning, we have the exchange, then hash aggregate, then exchange, then hash aggregate. So combine this as 1, combine this as also 1, okay. So this one is for the group by, and this one is for the count, and this is the show, okay. So let's look more deeper into it, so we have this scan CSV. Okay, so I'm scanning the two output, age and country. Okay, and age should not be null, there is a filter applied, and should be less than 40. Okay, and schema was there were two columns only, age and country. Now job 2 has 3 stages. How will I come to know? Okay, so if I look at this one, let me scroll up. Yeah, so if you see the scan stages as 2. Okay, this will be run in the second stage, and if I click on before clicking on the second stage, let me show you the data first. So the file size was 256 byte. Okay, this is the file of the actual file size of the actual file, and this all are 0. So if I go into the stage 2, let's say if I'm going into the stage 2. Okay, so before going into the stage 2, which has single partition as we have seen, I'll want to show you that in the stage 2, let's go to the stage section and let's go to the stage 2. Okay, so this is the stage 2. This is the scanning happened on one partition only, and the data it wrote at the end is 326 byte. Okay, so how come the scanning happened and the filtration happened, and then why the file size has been increased from 256 to 236. Why? Because this stage involve 3 tasks. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So if I click on this second stage, if you can see, this is the stage second. It involves scan, code gen, and then the exchange. Okay, so this is the second stage, if you are able to see it here. Okay, so this involved the 3 tasks. Okay, 3 tasks, but this is considered as the 1 task only for the Spark, and because there is an exchange happened, so there was a shuffle write happened. Okay, shuffle write, if you can see, is 326 byte at the end. Okay, this one. Okay, for second job, this is the shuffle write that happened. Okay, so this is clear. Okay, in the one partition we are able to shuffle or exchange the data. Exchange, so exchange has happened, right? Exchange has happened. Exchange is nothing but your 4th. Okay, 4th and 6th. Okay, so but this is the job 2 only. As we have seen that this is the filter that has been applied. Okay, on the same stage. Okay, on the same stage, first the scan happened and then the filtration, and then is the project is nothing but happened on the same stage. Okay, so this is the file size, and what happened is the next stage is the exchange. So if you look at this exchange, okay, in the exchange it based on the country. So there were 4 partition dot created, round robin partition. Why? Because we do have created 4 partition. Okay, we have done the repartition 4, so that's why we are seeing the 4 partitioning. Okay, partition by number. So that's why if you see this partition 2 has 1 stage, and partition 3rd. Okay, 3rd stage is nothing but for the exchange only, for repartitioning. That's why we have 4 partitions here. Okay, how we am able to see that? So if you go to the stage section, let me close this one. So if you go back to the stage section, if you are able to see this one, so this is the stage 4. Okay, and in that stage 4 you will going to see sorry, not the stage 4, stage 3, and that is stage 3 you are going to see the 4 partition, right? And shuffle red is 326 byte, which is coming from the second stage. Second stage is nothing but the scan, hold stage scan, and the exchange. Okay, so in the second job, it has done the exchange. Okay, in the second job it has done the exchange and involving second stage and the third stage. Okay, so we will see what happened on the second stage. So on the second stage, we have got the so there was no read, okay, only write. Why? Because it is reading the 256 byte and converting, it has done the reshuffling, okay, reshuffling based on the 4 partition. So file size was 256 byte, but it has divided into the 4 files, and with each of the data partition based on the number, okay, based on the country. So let's say Canada data will go to the one partition, US data will go into the other partition based on the countries, and that's why the file has been increased with the overhead of maintaining the files. Okay, so if you see, on the second stage we have 326 byte that has been created. Okay, and in the third stage itself, because this involved 2-stage task, 2 and 3, so exchanges happen on the 2 stage, 2 and 3. In the second stage it has written the file, and in the third exchange it is reading that file. Okay, so if you look at this, third stage is reading the same data which has been created from the previous second stage of 326 byte. So this is reading the third stage as 326 byte, okay, and then writing again to 506 byte. Okay, so let's see what has happened here. Okay, so again, in the third stage we have seen that it is creating the 4 partition. So that means that the repartition has been called on the third repartition. So I'll say in the third stage I'll say the repartition of 4 has been called. Okay, and that's why we are able to see the 4 partition with 506 byte of data. Okay, so till now we have 4 files with country, 4 file based on country as key. Okay, so let's say partition 1 will going to have the Canada data. Okay, partition 2 will going to have the US data, and correspondingly partition 4. Okay, so these 4 partition will going to have this particular data in the exchange section, and we know the output of the file after this exchange is 506 byte. Okay, from 256 byte to 326 byte to 506 byte. Okay, so till now we have, and we will consider exchange and the hash aggregate as the same. Okay, so this has done nothing but, see, input is country, keys as the country, so this is what we have talked about, and aggregate output is count, so it is counting the data. Okay, yeah, so if you see, this also the hash aggregate involved the only the third stage. Okay, so if you see, if you look at this one here in the SQL data frame. Okay, so if I click on this one, I'm talking about the hash aggregate after the exchange. Hash aggregate is after the exchange. I'm talking about this one. Okay, so this is done on the third stage only. Okay, this involves second and third stage, and this is the third stage. So third stage, right? So if I click on this third stage, let me okay, so this stage, third stage, has the 4 data as we know, but if I click on the stage, and it will going to show me all the stages data. Let me click on the, where will I go to see the, let me click on this one, third stage. I'm not able to see. Okay, let me click on the second stage. It's not coming up. 1 second. see this, you are all seeing that 5 6 7 8 9, okay, 4 4 4 1 4 partition. These are the skipped stages. I don't want them. Complete stages, jobs. Okay, let's click on the jobs then, and if I click on the third job, okay, yeah, okay, not click on the third job, let's click on the second job only. So this second job will going to show me all the stages, okay, of second, third. So in the third you will see that the exchange has happened and then the exchange has happened, okay, two. So this one is reading and this one is writing. So that's why on the stage third you will going to see, so this is the second, last is the third one is the third stage. So in the stage third you will going to see the read and write, okay. So read is 326 byte and write is 506 byte in the stage 3, okay, correspondingly, yeah. So this is the thing, and let's go back to the third stage. So third stage is nothing but reading and then writing to 506 byte, okay, in 4 partition. So till now we have these 4 partitions, okay, in this hash aggregate as well, 4 partition data. Now the exchange again happened, okay. So again the stage has happened, or there are the multiple stages which has happened. So stage 3 4 7 10 13 and 16. Why there is a gap between 4 to 7? Because the other 2 stages are skipped, which has already happened, okay. So that's why this 7 stage, 10 stage, 13 and 16. That means the on each of the files or each of the data we have different stages happen, okay, while shuffling. So this hash partitioning has happened because we are doing the group by. So we are having this 4 partitions all together, and this, for each of the partitions we have different stages. So these are the stages that are involved, and they have skipped 3 4 5 6, okay, then 7 to 16 has been executed. So if you see on the while reading, because this involved if you look at the third and fourth stages, if you look at the third and fourth stages, this is exchange has happened, exchange, read and write, and then again in the stage 4 we are reading it. So in the reading you will going to see the only one partition and no shuffle read and shuffle write has happened, okay, in the 3 4, okay. So we will going to see on the, so this is the complete data of in the third stage, okay. We will be reading 326 byte and writing 506 byte. So in stage 4 there is nothing happened. Stage 7 there is nothing read, only read on the third stage. So if we are not writing anything on the so we have already written on the third stage 506 byte, okay, 506 byte on the stage third we have written, and on the other stage we should be reading it and converting it to the for the counting. We're sending that data 506 byte to the counting. So as you can see on the 7th stage also we are not seeing any data. So on the 10th stage, okay, we are reading the 128 byte of data, okay, and on the stage 10 we are reading 128. On the 13th stage we are reading 142, and on the 14th stage we are reading 228 of byte, okay. This is for reading, okay. And because this is all reading the data out of these 4 partitions, okay. So let's see how many partition has been created. So for 10th one it has created 20 partition for, okay. So let's look at the reading. So for 128 byte of data, okay, which is reading the one of the partition, okay, one of the partition, let's say the Canada data, and on 142 byte of data it read, and it has created 20 partitions out of it. On those 20 partition, what it was doing is it was counting that data. Okay, so if you look at this hash aggregate on the same stages, okay, it was just doing the final merge count. Okay, so it created 20 partitions, okay, in the 10th stage. And if you look at this 10th stage, it is reading 128 byte, writing nothing. Okay, and partition were again 20. So this is not doing nothing but doing the computation for one of the partition into 20 partition file. Okay, and what was the file size? File 506 byte. It is split into the 142 byte it has read. Okay, so in one partition, it was one of the partition, the file size was 142, and out of this 142 it has created 20 partitions. Okay, and similarly on the 13th stage also it created the 100 partition, but the size was 142, same other partition 142 byte. On the 14th stage, it was reading the next file, which is 222 byte, counting that into the 75 partition, and finally we have got the 200 final partitions. Okay, after all this, then the hash aggregate, which is the counting final merge count, has happened based on the countries. And as you can see, this is the same list of jobs that has been executed. Okay, and yeah, so let me show you the last stage. Okay, yeah, because we do have AQE and broadcast disabled. Okay, that's why you're able to see so many large partitions. So this is the 16th stage where you are able to see this 75 partition, and the last stage. Okay, in the last stage you will going to see the 200 partitions. Okay, which I don't think it has showed it here, but let's see if in the jobs we do have. I don't think so. Yeah, it's nothing here. Okay, so because how will I come to know? From the SQL data frame, if you look at this one, displaying the final result. Okay, so 200 partition, right? So if you look at this one, somewhere it was showing the 200 partitions. This is the exchange. Yeah, see, the number of partition were 200. Okay, before sending it to the this hash aggregate. Okay, it create the multiple partition. Okay, then finally it create the 200 partition, send it to the aggregate for aggregation, and then it completed that job. Okay, and this is a detailed summary which we have already talked about. In the next video we are going to see what if we change the, so let's say in the compute, what if I disable the AQE and adaptive enabled as true. Okay, if I remove this to broadcast also join and the enabled as false, it will automatically be true. Okay, so let me click on the restart. Okay, this might take some time, so we're going to meet you in the next video.